Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Learning Bites with Booming Encore. My name is Susan Williams, and I'm the founder of Booming Encore, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Joe Casey. Joe is one of our regular contributors, and he's also the co-founder and principal at Retirement Wisdom. And Joe's with me today to actually talk about retirement coaches and who they are and what they do. So welcome, Joe.
Thanks, Susan. Great to talk to you once again.
Great to have you back. So, Joe, what exactly is a retirement coach?
I'm asked that a lot. So first thing is that retirement coaches are trained professionals, and they work with clients on the non-financial aspects of retirement. And just as a financial planner will help work with you on how to invest your money, a retirement coach works on how you want to invest your time. And if you think about it, time is the most precious commodity of all. You can always find ways to make more money, but it's really hard to make more time.
Mm-hmm.
We help them with emotional aspects of transitioning, because it's sometimes a hard thing to go from a working career of so many years to retirement, and that will often last as long or longer. And we help them with things like figuring out their identity, an answer to the question, well, what do you do? Which can early in retirement be difficult for some people, but really more importantly, who you are, rediscovering purpose and meaning in some ways, and figuring out a portfolio of activities that can be really rewarding to them. A lot of people have a challenge with replacing the non-financial benefits and rewards we get from work beyond a paycheck, and we help them sort that out. Sometimes people have a vague idea of what they want to do. It takes a lot of work and sacrifice to retire, and we help them narrow down some options, explore some options to get them to be clear on that. In other cases, people come to us with a dream, something they've always wanted to do if they had the time, and now they do, and we help them make that happen.
Terrific. Now, Joe, how does that differ, though, from like somebody who's a life coach, for instance?
So it's a little bit different in terms of retirement coaches specialize in this phase of life. And what that means is we're familiar with the unique challenges of this stage in retirement and also the opportunities. And that's important because you really want to have a laser focus on some of those things. We use tools that are designed specifically to help people figure out the retirement puzzle, and sometimes to figure it out with others in their life, spouse, partners, and other family members. So it's good to have something that's specialized in that. The way I think of it is, I've had the experience, I'm sure you have, where you break down on the highway and your car's broken down. What do? You can take it to a mechanic, but I've found it's better to take one that specializes in your particular make and model, better than all. So it's a specialization that I think sets it apart.
And when should someone consider thinking about hiring a retirement coach?
We see three types of people that we work with, maybe different for others, but the three we see are first, the planners, secondly, early retirees, and third, unretirees.
Mm-hmm.
So people really spend a lot of time getting ready to retire. It takes a lot to be able to retire these days, a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. And it also takes time to figure out what you want to do next. So with the planners, these are people who are ahead of the game on the financial side. They may work with a financial advisor, and they really have been driven their whole career to get an A on that side of the equation. But on this other side, they probably often haven't thought about it, and they end up heading toward an F. So people who are driven to get an A don't want to end up with an average or a C. So they start to really embrace this side about questions that they haven't really considered or devoted much time to. So they want to get ahead of the game. Second group are the early retirees, and they come in two flavors, if you will. First are people who are forced into retirement earlier than planned. That was me. In my case, I retired at 52. I thought I'd probably work till 55 or later, and I had to shift gears. The second group are people that you read about who are really striving toward FIRE, becoming financially independent and being able to retire early. So they have done a lot in terms of living legally, getting their finances in order to be able to finance a longer period of retirement than many of us. And for them, it's really eye-opening to start thinking about getting away from working to then what are they really going to be moving to, and they've got a long runway. The third group are people who are already retired, and a couple years in, they discover this isn't really what I had hoped for or dreamed about. This is really different, and they want to get back into the game. Usually not for financial reasons, but about 20% of people have been found in the US and UK to be unretiring within the first 5 years. And we help them sort it out, because it's usually about how do I get a career that's not as demanding, but some type of work that's fulfilling, satisfying, and on my own terms. And then we also, I think, talked once about this age wave study that was done by Merrill Lynch and Age Wave that found that really people who retired took about 2.5 years on average to discover really what they wanted to do next. And we really can help people get there a lot faster because you really have to learn the value of time, and you may not have time to waste to get to really what you want to do. People don't need a retirement coach if they're going to play golf, travel, relax, nothing wrong with those great things. If they're not going to need us. The golfers may need a swing coach instead, but the people that hire a retirement coach are ones who want to get more out of these extra years.
Great. And how long does a typical client work with you, Joe?
Depends on the person, which I know is an annoying answer, but let me explain. Most people work with us initially for 6 sessions. That's what we recommend, and they usually do that within 3 months or so. We like to give them that to see really if this is right for them, and then most continue on for an additional 6 sessions, so 12 sessions in total. Most complete that in 6-7 months or so. Some people go longer because we work with people at their own pace. They want to spread it out a little bit more. But if you think about the length of time that retirements last and the amount of time people spend in their careers, it's really not much to get yourself on the right track.
Right. And are there any specific qualifications people should look for before hiring a retirement coach?
That's a great question. And because there are so many options out there today, as you know, with 10,000 baby boomers retiring each and every day, there's been an explosive growth in the number of retirement coaches. So there's a lot of great options. But it's really important to find the one that's best for you, because you're not going to hire 20 of us. You're going to hire the one that's right for you. And I'd recommend that people start by just ensuring first that the coach they're considering has solid training as a coach and that they have relevant professional experience. But that's just really the starting point. Then it's really wise to interview 2 or 3 coaches that you think might be a fit for you. And then really dig into the most important qualification. Do they have the skills that's the right mix to help you achieve your goals?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something really only you can assess. So I'd recommend looking also at 3 other factors. I've come up with a clever acronym, CAP, C-A-P. And the C stands for chemistry. I know it sounds like Sesame Street, I apologize. But you really want to make sure that the personal chemistry with you and the coach is a great fit. But I see that many people stop there, and that can really turn out to be a mistake, because if you're looking for a new friend, chemistry might be enough. But if you're hiring a retirement coach, I'd explore 2 additional factors. So that's where the A comes in. That stands for approach. I'd really ask the coach to explain their coaching approach and what it's based on. That second part is really important because it gives you a chance to see if that's going to be really a fit for you and what you're looking for. And it can differentiate the coaches in your mind. And finally, P is for process. I'd ask really the coach to explain how their process works and really see, does the balance of structure and flexibility work for you? How much they adapt it to your needs, or are you really buying a one-size-fits-all solution? Ask about pace and place, meaning, do they coach in person with you as a client, or is it virtual? Virtual can be great, but what I see sometimes is a local coach that's based in your city or your town actually may end up working with you virtually because the may not work out. So it's important to drill into that and make sure that it's right for you. But if it's virtual, you might be able to consider a broader range of virtual coaches. On pace, the big question is, do they work at your pace or theirs? And then I just add a side note on price, because people get to that pretty quickly too. I find that retirement coaching across the board is very reasonably priced. Many of my retirement coaching clients have said to me, is that all? When we get down to discussing price, they're actually surprised. And then, so in summary, I'd just say interviewing several coaches, focusing on chemistry, approach, and process can really lead you to the one that's best for you.
Well, that's some great advice, Joe. And it sounds like, with people looking at 20 to 30 years potentially in retirement, and if you can get someone to help you get to what you really want to do faster, I mean, that's certainly something that definitely could be of value, I'm sure. So thanks so much for sharing your perspective and your insight and wisdom on this topic. And to everybody out there, hope you found this information valuable and helps you to live your best booming encore. Bye for now, everyone.